That one chainsaw, the Dewalt chainsaw. Oh, hi. Welcome to Ben Ryobi. Ben Ryobi used to be the old name of the channel. It's actually ToolSpecs now. So today we're going to review. We're going to do some tests on the slug here with the 16-inch Dewalt FlexVolt chainsaw, and we're going to compare it with 18-volt one from Ryobi. Now this one is just 10-inch, but it's going to be able to do that lag no problem, because I think that's just 6 to 8 inch, this one. So what's going to happen here is I have multiple batteries up here. So let's start with the one from Dewalt. So the Dewalt, this chainsaw here, works with flex battery. So that's a 60-volt chainsaw. And what's happening with the 60-volt Dewalt battery is that they can go from 20 volt to 60 volt. So now it's going to change the amp hour in there. But what's happening is when you use tools that use 20 volt, it's going to give you 20 volt power. When you use tools like this chainsaw that's 60 volt, then it's going to give you a lot more power, a lot more voltage, but a little bit less amp power. So there's a switch inside that battery. It's going to go from a 3 row of 5 cells in series, which give you your 20 volt power, to the 15 cells in series. So that's going to give you your 60 volt there. So anyway, those batteries are pretty cool. So you can use those if you're going, instead of having like Ryobi where you need to have all your 18-volt battery for some tools, and then you have to have your 40-volt series. With this here, they're able to run leaf blowers and other stuff like that with just the one battery that you can use on all of the platform of tools that they have. So we're going to have this battery here, and then okay, so this battery is a 6 amp hour. Now a 6 amp hour battery, when it's 6 amp hour when it's 20 volt, but when you're going to 60 volt, it's going to drop to 2 amp hour. So because of that, we're going to test the Ryobi one with a 2 amp hour battery. But because we have 60 volt here, we still need to give Ryobi a little chance there. So we're gonna go from 2 amp hour to 4 amp hour hedge battery, which the hedge have bigger cell for the technology than the regular HP battery from Ryobi. But we're going to test the 6 amp hour battery as well. I tested this with Impact Wrench before, and 4 amp hour hedge is actually as strong, if not a little bit stronger, than the 6 amp hour HP battery from Ryobi. But after that, we're going to see and still give a chance for the Ryobi chainsaw, the 18 volt, to compare to the 60 volt Dewalt chainsaw. So because of that, we're going to test it with our 12 amp hour battery from Ryobi. All right, so the first one that we're going to do here is going to be the Ryobi chainsaw with our 2 amp hour battery. Now there's quite a bit of, well, quite a bit, not that much of a price difference in between those two chainsaws here. So this chainsaw, usually in Canada, it retails for about $250 Canadian for that 18 volt 10-inch chainsaw from Ryobi, while the Dewalt 16-inch is about $300 Canadian. So it's for $50 more, you're getting quite a bit of chainsaw with this. Now Dewalt also have a 20-inch one, so longer guard, longer guide for your chainsaw, and then the 20-inch retails about $600. So the 16-inch is the one that we're going to test today, because I get a friend that let me borrow it for some tests. So I reviewed it the other day, and then I thought that might as well. I have this chainsaw around. I have this one until tomorrow, so might as well do one more test. So the Ryobi one, the 18 volt retails for $250. Now you can have the 40 volt series, which I tested last summer or the summer before. It's my dad, actually. I borrowed it from my dad. The 16-inch one retails for $280 Canadian, so still a little bit less than the Dewalt 16-inch, and the 20-inch retails for $500. So that's actually $100 difference in between the Ryobi 40-inch, 40 volt 20-inch compared to the Dewalt 20-inch. $100 difference for those two. So, all right, let's get to it. I just put the oil in there, so we're good to go. We're gonna do our first cut. It's a 2 amp hour. They're usually not super strong, so we'll see how fast we can go through this leg. So I was struggling a little bit there. It's not quite enough power. 18 volt with the 2 amp hour battery. Now all the batteries are fully charged that we're testing today. But yeah, I'm going to show you right now when this battery here goes to 2 amp hour. You're gonna see how fast it goes. So this chainsaw, the Ryobi one, the guard don't move at front. This one here, like I showed in the review video the other day, if you have the guard forward, you can press on your trigger, it won't activate. You need to move the guard back, and now you can press on your trigger, and now it's working. Now you can see and hear how much power this thing have already. So let's do our first cut with it. This thing just shoots through the slug in 2 seconds, right? I'm cutting this nice and thin there because I don't have lugs that are long enough to do lots of cut on this little bench here. And lots of them are at the bottom corner of the wood stack back here. So I was able to get a couple out, but yeah, so we're going to keep the cut nice and thin. Okay, so we knew that the Ryobi one, the 2 amp hour wasn't good enough. We're going to try the Edge battery this time, 4 amp hour Edge battery. Let's see about this. Already sound a little bit stronger. Let's do our first cut. Well, that was a little bit better. Well, actually, quite a lot better, because I was actually able to push the chainsaw down. That 2 amp power here just struggled way too much. All right, so we're going to change this and do the 6 amp hour battery, HP battery. So those one have, like I said earlier, or maybe it was in another live, but those one have the 1800 cell in there compared to the bigger cell from the Ryobi Edge, which have the 2700. So the 2700 also bring the power differently than the regular HP battery. So the regular HP cell actually have a wire that goes down the cell, and then the cell is folded all the way around like this, and then when it brings the power to the top of the cell to be able to do the connection, I actually have to run through that wire, while the Ryobi edge, the cell are actually not wrapped around like this, but they're going to be wrapped around the other direction, and then they're folded at the end of it. So like that, you don't need the wire going through those battery to bring your power. It's way faster and way stronger, and those batteries run colder. But let's try that 6 amp hour. Let's move our lag a little bit, give us more room. Okay, and go. So very similar to the Ryobi Edge, but you have to keep that in mind though. Like, this is just a 4 amp hour battery, and it was comparing to the 6 amp hour, right? Next, we're going to test the 12 amp hour, but before we do that, let's do another cut with our Dewalt 60 volt flex battery, which have a 6 amp hour, 2 amp hour onto the 60, 2 amp hour when you use the 60 volt. Starting to have quite a bit of sawdust here with all those tests. And go. This one has so much power. I don't even need to rack the chainsaw and catch on those grooves here to try to go faster. I just chew through this lag, no problem. All right, well, let's try our 12 amp hour battery now. 12 amp hour battery have something a little bit different than the other battery, and it's actually, you know, all the Ryobi battery, the connection with the button is at the top of the battery. See those connections here? And this is what clips the battery into your tool. They actually were able to make them at the bottom of the battery. You're still moving the clips at the top like this when you're pressing it, but you don't have to try to reach your hand around and press here in order to be able to clip and unclip the battery. All right, so let's try a 12 amp hour battery. Let's move our lag a little bit again. Already sounds like there's way more power. Oh, it's starting to be dark out. Sorry, the color of the video is not super bright right now, but so with this one here, that big 12 amp hour, I didn't have to do the rocking motion to go through the slug. We're able to just go exactly like that big Dewalt chainsaw, just in one shot down. Now, for weight wise, well, got batteries in there, but weight roll wise, I would say that with the 12 amp hour battery, this chainsaw is exactly the same, feels exactly the same weight as this one. Now, there's something pretty cool to think about too, is if you're using Ryobi batteries or a Ryobi chainsaw, so the Ryobi have their battery on the side here. It's because of the handle shape and all this, it's very like easy to carry around, even with the 12 amp hour, and it's pretty centered, right? Like if I just hold it with my thumb here, it's very well balanced, but this battery stays exposed. Well, it's one thing that Dewalt did that is very good, is this battery is all encased into here. So there's actually a guard on this side. Now there's still a lot of groove in here, so that still let the air flow so that your battery don't get too warm. But yeah, it's all enclosed like this. Like that, you won't hit the battery by accident, or if you end up dropping the chainsaw for some reason. And there's actually a guard that goes, handle goes all the way around, so you can grab your chainsaw like this, or you can still cut sideways, no problem. Ryobi does it too, but if I'm using that big battery here, see, I don't really have space for my arm in here with this size of battery to do it sideways. Like I can still, like, of course I'm not going to hold it like that, like I'll be standing up, so I'll have some room with my arm, but it's still a little bit in the way. And if you drop the chainsaw, then you can break the battery. And because of the way that the batteries are too, for the Ryobi, it's just this pin here that brings the power onto your chainsaw or any tools that you're using, right? And because I just have that one pin here, if I would end up dropping that chainsaw, it's and with the heavy battery, it's very likely that this pin with all those wire can break and everything can stay exposed. So it's one thing to keep in mind. If you don't already have a platform of tool that you're using, then yeah, maybe this is the platform for you. Now, if you want to save some money or have access to smaller tool that might not be as powerful, but if you're not using it every day for work, it might be good for you, then you might want to consider Ryobi instead of Dewalt. And the line of tool is amazing. All right, well, on that note here, I think we covered everything, and it's getting pretty dark. I don't think you guys see me that good anymore. So yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Cheers.